Alrighty, Lumberjacks, welcome to the very first episode of, basically it's going to be an instructional series where I'm going to show you guys how to use the equipment, how to use the mods, basically how to get everything up and rolling. So, from ground one, I'm assuming right now you've gone through the control video, the mod setup video, you've downloaded the mods are in the game and working. So, we're going to kind of go from step one. I've had lots of people request asking how do I log and how, can I make a tutorial on how the process works. So I'm gonna basically break this up into a few episodes. So we'll start off with picking a block, bringing the equipment up there, and then I'm gonna kind of walk through each machine and how they work and what the best ways to run them is, at least in the terms of this game. So right off the bat, you pick a map of any choice. We chose Jade Mountain because this one is one of my favorite maps so far. So we'll take Jade Mountain. You could use, if you need money, you can do money. I use the money cheat because I actually just like to log. I'm not really care about the money. But if you need to, you can work your way up to get the money you need to buy the equipment you need, doing your own techniques. So right now, going at version 12, that should be out by the time you guys start seeing this series. We are going to start off with buying the bare minimal stuff that we need. And I'll explain kind of how stuff is as we do it. So first off, you're going to need the Valkyrie haul truck. So you need a copy of that. You're going to need the Caledrius, the front and the back, which is the low bed. So buy one of those each. Now, to start a block, basically you need to decide what equipment you want to use. So automatically right off the bat, you need a buncher. So we're going to grab the Varkolak. That's one of my favorites. So we'll grab that buncher. You're going to need a processor. So we'll grab a processor. And you can use either the delimber one, which is a processor as well. I'm personally a big fan of the hide here. So we'll take that. You'll need a skidder, but we're not going to worry about that yet. We just want to kind of get things started off here. And skidder or cat, kind of same difference there. They both can do the same thing. You don't need a log trailer, you don't need that. Fuel truck you can buy later on if you need fuel. That's not really important for this part of things. So, right off the bat, these are the three things I usually pick out is a buncher, a processor, and a truck to bring them somewhere. So right off the bat, you need to decide what block you want to do and assess it. So the beginning of the block is going to be assessing. That'll be step one for it. So we're going to buy the pickup truck because that's what we're going to use to go for a gander here. Oh, my delivery space is blocked. I have too much stuff in here. Maybe if I move out of the way. Let's see. How about now? Now it likes it. Okay. So here's our pickup. So we're going to take this pickup. And we're going to go assess a block. So whichever block we want is up to us. So normally what I'll do is I'll look at the map. This map doesn't actually have blocks built into it. My newer maps have like actual cut sections where it says, EM, blah, 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 blocks. This one is just a bare basic map. So you can make your own blocks however you want to do it. In this case, we're just going to pick something close to home here because I don't want to have to go too far for these videos. So this will be our block. This will be our area that we want to log right here, this little corner piece. So this is us here. We're just going to cruise up and... Oh, I think we need to go this way more. So go up here. And as soon as we get to our block here, we can take a look. So this is going to be our block right here. So if you look at the map, we should be pretty much right at it here. Yep. So my map's actually a little off on this one. I got to fix that. But technically we're in the middle here. But this is the block that we're going to be cutting. So pick a map place that you want to, log. Pick a block. Pick an area that you like. Basically, the first thing you want to do is assess the block. So I'm going to shut this off so it's not running in the background here. Take a wander around the block. Take a look at it. There's not a lot of trees in here, so this is going to be a nice, easy block for us to kind of start off on. So figure out where your road is. Where's your truck coming in? So we're going to have a logging truck. It's going to be coming in. Where's the best place to put the logging truck? How are you going to lay the wood down so that we can bring it to the road to haul it out? Are you going to bring it into the bush? There's lots of different decisions you can make logging, but it's always good to go in with some sort of a plan. Because if you just kind of wing it, I mean, we do that lots of multiplayer where we wing it and it works out fine too, but it's a little bit more frustrating and you can run into lots of troubles doing it that way. So in this case, what I would do is I'd just go for a walk in it. Figure out where you're going to go. In this case, it's really easy because this whole block is basically built into this mountain edge here. So it's going to be really easy to decide what I want to do. Looking at these areas, you know, there's big steep hills in here. This is going to be really hard to bunch this. So you got to figure out where am I going to lay my trees down. Because if you lay them straight on this hill, it's going to be a real pain in the butt to drag those down. So in this case, what you'd want to do is figure out, oh, am I going to grab these trees from the side and toss them down here, or am I going to lay them flat? Figure out a way that you want to bring your trees to the front. In this case, this looks like the flattest spot right here. Always find the flattest spot you can to be your main point for where you're going to log. The rest of it's kind of rocky. You might be able to get a spot up there, but I'm going to pick this one. This will be my flat spot. So for instance, what I want to do is I want to bring all the skidded wood into this area right here so that we drop it, and then our processor would work from this position to put the logs right onto the side of the road so we can load them right onto the machine, or right onto the truck there. So in that case, the whole point I'm trying to get across is when you assess a block, you want to see how you're going to lay the wood down so the butts are facing us, and how you're going to bring it out with the skidder. The best way to do it, or if you're forwarding it, that's also a possibility if it's too hard a terrain for the skidder. Lots of different options, but have a plan, go in with a plan of action. It'll make your life way easier if you actually kind of think about what you want to do. I'm just going to leave this truck parked up here. I'm going to go park it right over here. Oh, I got to turn on my stop and go thing here. Hold on one sec. We'll leave automatic on too because it's all good. So I'm going to park this guy right over here. It's kind of out of the way. Okay, so first things first, hauling the equipment up. So what I'm going to do is the block introduction and the equipment in one video, and then once we actually get the equipment up there, we'll do that in a separate video. Okay, so you want to hook onto that, hook onto this guy. Well, technically you can... I usually always drag these wide open, but you don't have to put this one out too far. Like, probably there is more than enough. Just a little bit of extra space. Just a teeny weeny bit of extra space. Nothing too big. Then we load on our equipment. And then this is basically just the tutorial for how to do this. I mean, most people know how to do this stuff anyway, but if you're new to the game and you don't know how, just drive the equipment on. You don't need a locking script for this stuff. It does automatically lock onto the trailer. So as soon as you park it, I always park it up on that back ramp. As soon as you bring all this equipment onto this trailer, it automatically locks it down. It still can fall off if you run over really rough terrain, but for the most part, it does stay there. Oops, so we put our head through the other machine, so that's good. Let's park here, good enough. So now that you got your machines loaded on, you can do this with whatever equipment you want to bring up there. If you really don't want to drive, you can always drive the equipment, but it's so slow it would be half a day waiting for it to get up there. So low bedding is a very important feature. So now we got our equipment hooked on. Basically, you just want to drag this equipment up to that block so you don't have to walk it all the way up there. So we will do just that. Oh, can we clear it? Oh, yeah, we did. You gotta watch that. So, with these low beds, they do have a pretty decent clearance on the bottom, but if you go over any too sharp of hills, you'll notice, actually, it might happen on this next hill, it'll bottom out, so you've got to really give her a lot of go if you can to pull it through. See how it's bottoming out? Oh, yeah, a little bit, but we still made it, but it definitely can happen. And these roads are kind of rough on this one, so... So we're just going to kind of bring this up over here. We'll just drop it right there. So then you want to unhook it, unload your equipment. In this case, we decided we wanted our processor to be parked right about here, because that's going to be easy for us. And our buncher will be the first tool that we use, because we want to clear the bush. So we're just going to bring that right in here. The next thing you want to do is go down and get yourself a skidder or the line dozer cat there, whichever one works better for you, or whatever mods or equipment you're using for that kind of stuff to move the wood. So, I think, I don't know how I'm going to get this out of here. I might have to back it up. Let's see here. Can we make this big sharp turn here without completely? Oh yeah, we got it. So another thing is when you bring equipment into the bush too, you got to really be careful that there is a turnaround, or else you can find yourself backing a trailer all the way down a hill, which is a real pain in the butt. So in this case, we're going to bring two things up here actually this time. Another thing that you'll want to have with you when you do your first run, since we're coming back all the way anyway, we will want to get, so in this case we're going to do, actually I always use the skidder. Let's use the, we're going to use the dozer here, which is a line skidder as well. So we're going to get that. We also want one of these. So this one's a stump grinder. So if you want a stump grind, you can totally do that. I usually cut my stumps really low, but maybe later on in the tutorials we'll do a coverage of that. I'm going to grab one of these. So then we'll have a cat and mat to load onto this. Cat and the hat. Okay, so let's bring this equipment up here. And this is another shorty, so we can park it on the back side here. It's probably not how you would ever want to actually really load it in real life, but hey, you know what? Whatever gets it out to the bush, right? And we'll park this big ugly bugger on here. Okay, so this will be our last load of stuff that we need to bring out there. So basically the bulldozer is going to be for skidding the wood, bringing it to and fro. And then the other part is the wood chipper for cleaning up all the bits and pieces that we're going to create with that processor, and most likely with the buncher itself. So here we go. Now we're going to try to get a little bit of a run at it this time, because it kind of felt like we bottomed out there a few times. So like this spot will bottom out a little bit. Oh, we did it really well that time. As long as everything's still attached to the trailer, yeah, we're good. This one will bottom out a little bit, slows us down. Give her around this corner a bit. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. And disconnect that. Okay, and we can bring all this stuff up and get it ready to go here. I'm just going to park this across the road because we're not going to use it right away. I usually try to keep everything sorted when you're in the bush. Try not to put anything where it's going to be in the way. I mean, this stuff's probably still going to be in the way a little bit, but it won't be for our actual cutting operation. So then this guy, because you'll use the low bed again, I usually recommend you park it somewhere pretty close. Oh, hold on a sec here. Oh, I got my thing stuck here. There we go. Okay, so let's go park it right over, oops, in these bushes here. And then I hit G and disconnect the actual whole trailer instead of just that tip. So that way if you decide you're going to low bed your equipment again, it is right there for you to play with. So I'm also going to park this truck right over here because we don't need it right now. Okay, so now you got your whole block set up and ready to go to start logging. So this is kind of the end of this portion of the tutorial. So the whole part of this tutorial was to go over block assessment, deciding your block, figuring out what you want to do, where you want to put the wood, how you're going to do that. Next part of the video was bringing the equipment up, which we showed you now how to do. Hook onto the low bed, bring it all on there. It automatically locks itself down to that trailer. Haul it up to your block, unload it, put it in a position that works for you. In this case, I know the wood I want to process will come from this direction, so I leave it right here. My buncher I set up, it's ready to go for our next video, which will be the first tool that we use in the next one. And we'll talk about how to fall the trees in different directions, what the best method is, and then we'll talk about bringing the wood actually out to the processor as well. Maybe we'll do processor buncher in the same video. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll just do a buncher video and then one for each machine. So anyway, so this is step one, getting the equipment up to the block, and yeah, we'll see you for the next step.